May 16th, 2022 edition of Bourbon-n-Blockchain Happy Hour. Tonight, I'm joined by Draco, Myron Gaines, and Mr. Maverick. Draco, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was a really good weekend. I got to spend a bunch of time with the kids. Had some pretty darn good weather. It was up in the 90s, so it was a little hot, but you know what? It was still pretty wonderful, and you got to grill. So, a little bit of beer, a little bit of grilling, hanging out with the kids. Can't ask for much more than that.
Maverick, what about you?
Hey, mine was pretty similar to Draco's. It sounds like disconnected from crypto for a little bit. Haven't been very active, but that's all intentional, and I'm not missing much, thankfully.
Now, Myron, I know you have a chip on your shoulder, but did you at least have a good weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm staring at a chart all day, not going to sleep, crying. No, actually, I didn't do that. I just chilled. Didn't really do much this weekend either.
Yeah. Now, why do you got a chip on your shoulder? Are there some things that are irritating you that you're seeing?
Yeah, man. You ready? You guys ready for this? You guys are supposed to have something ready too, man.
I'm ready.
Let it off your chest.
Controversial opinion, trigger me, daddy section. So
All
you guys
right,
ready
let's do
for
it.
this? All right. You guys need to stop worshiping Elon Musk.
No.
Look, he rugged you on Dogecoin. Every
No.
single person that bought going to SNL, bro, you're holding a big bag right there. Big bag, man. People bought in the 70 cents range, 50, 60, whatever it is. Right now, it's what, like 10 cents. And now every single person that bought since he announced that he's buying Twitter, you guys are holding another big bag. And the thing is, if the deal doesn't go through, Twitter's going back to the 20s, man. So you're down like what 50% if you bought in the 40s range. So all I'm saying is, dude, we need to stop with the celebrity worship. We need to stop with just buying it because all this and that. If we're to act as investors, this is my more rational take. If we're to act as investors, I think, especially with what happened with Do Kwon and Luna, we need to look out for our own interests because, dude, they don't care about you, man. Do Kwon don't care about you. Elon doesn't care about you. Elon doesn't even know I exist, even though I talk all this trash to him, man. I wish he would respond to my tweets, but he doesn't. So I don't like him, man. But I'm saying, like, just imagine all the time if you see like crypto Twitter influencer, so-called, shilling a token, shilling a meme coin, like how many people has lost money on that stuff? Because I've been thinking a little bit over the weekend, just especially with this whole Terra Luna thing. People believed in Do Kwon, man. Like that guy was a superstar. And now everyone's what? Dude, there's people who lost millions. There's people who lost their whole life savings over this. I know there's a lot of people who made a lot of money, but there's people who called them out. There's people who like said, hey, this is a way where the Luna could be exploited. This is what can happen if you can get attacked. He laughed those people off. He called them poor. This guy says, hey, if Luna does this, I'm going to full size and short Luna. He says, yeah, bro, but your size isn't size. Well, hey, man, the guy made a couple $100,000, I think, shorting UST. He didn't short Luna. If he shorted Luna, man, that guy would be up probably millions. So stop listening to other people. The only people that's going to care about your poor is probably just you, man. And I think I'll say this, too. This is super popular. I trust Think Strong. I still kind of do, but man, I'm holding a big bag on Strong too. So it's not fun. Hopefully we pump soon, but there's my hot take, okay?
There's a lot to unpack there. Does anybody want to
Yeah.
respond to any of that?
I prefer irrational Myron Pains rather than rational Myron Pains, personally.
Yeah.
No,
Maverick,
I think you're right. I think we shouldn't be following like celebrities and stuff like that. I've always been trying to say, like, make sure you're careful about who you follow and what their intentions are. Most of what you'll see on individuals that are like on Twitter and stuff like that, you're going to find people that shill bags that they own to make it more profitable for them. And that's the vast majority. If you find people that aren't doing that, you found yourself like a unicorn. So I don't know, just be very careful about what you listen to. I mean, like if somebody's saying like Bitcoin is a really good thing, are you really shilling that project, or are you trying to help people understand and learn more about Bitcoin? Because you putting $100 into Bitcoin isn't going to pump the bag for Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you just have to be very careful of who you're listening to and where they get their knowledge and how knowledgeable or how intelligent they are about crypto.
I'll ask you guys this. Did you guys look into Luna at all, really?
Yeah, I mean, I have Luna. I had Luna. I had a whole bunch
Oh,
that I
really?
lost. Yeah.
So man, that sucks, man. Because okay, so I'll say this. I told my parents about Luna because they're like, oh, what crypto should I buy? This and that. And that's the time where Luna was hot and Anchor, paying 20%. So I was like, hey, you don't really need to buy like Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can buy the stable coin and get
Mhm.
20%. My mom's like, dude, if you give me 10%, like I'm in. But I was too lazy to
Right.
teach them about Luna. But it worked out because man, they would just have lost. They probably put in 5 figures at least, man, and they would just lost it. Yeah, I'll
Right.
be sitting here like, oh yeah, I thought crypto is legit, stable coins are legit, but man, like you don't know. Like I haven't looked too much into Luna. I think the people who looked into Luna kind of realized that there could be issues. That if the price of Luna stops going up, it's like during the housing crisis. If the housing prices are going up, the multiple loans that people take and the multiple houses that they have, you're fine because you can always sell it for more than what you got it for. But the moment the housing prices top off, it started coming down, man, that's where you get this cascade of liquidations and foreclosures and things like that. So
Yep.
this was kind of foreseen, but I think people just didn't want to believe it, or just I guess want to ride this for as long as they can. We're so blinded by maybe we're so blinded by Dow APYs where it goes in the trillions, where you're like, dude, 20%, man, that's of course that's sustainable. Do you guys remember what Bernie Madoff? Do you remember what his Ponzi scheme? Do you know what he promised people per year?
What's that?
He promised 10%. And people were like flooding into his fund, trying to get in because he promised 10% a year. And now we're looking at 20%. We're like, oh yeah, man, like that's definitely sustainable. Well, it's not.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, everybody got kind of caught off guard with that, because if you would have asked me like at the beginning of the year when everything started going down and people were trying to pull profits and put them into more stable projects, one of the projects that I would have said would have been stablecoin farming on Terra Luna by, staking your UST for 20%. So, I mean, it caught a lot of people off guard, and a lot of the reason why I thought that was a stable project, because it was for a while, is because it had over $32 billion
Oh yeah,
locked
dude.
up in it, and
I
$32
didn't
billion is a lot of liquidity.
I didn't believe Luna was gonna fail, man. I bought $300 worth of Luna at like $13. So I was like, dude, this is gonna go up. I woke up and it's like 0.000 something.
Right.
So I believed in it, too. Like it's just exactly what you said. There's too much money. You just like wouldn't think that that much money can get liquidated. And I feel so bad for people that lost like a bunch of money. We know Dusky was talking to a guy, Draco, that he made a lot of money riding Luna up from $5 before the run. So he rolled up $5, made a bunch of money. Then he had like then he went to stables, when the market started acting weird, started looking bearish. So he was like protecting his funds, but so Dusky was like, oh man, so you're just chilling in stables right now. And while everything's dying, the guy's like, no, dude, my stable is UST. Then he said, I averaged down $20,000 at $30 for Luna, and he said that's
Ooh.
zero right now, man. So he
Yeah.
lost like in total like $180,000 on Luna.
Oh,
Dude, like it's so rough because like you want to put faith in these, and the thing is, you could say Dokkan could have prevented it. Maybe he could, but the thing is, man, like I feel bad for people, man. There's people bragging about the shorts and stuff like that. I mean, like, this is good for you. You saw it, you shorted it, you made money. But man, dude, a lot of people got wiped out, and these are not exactly the degen, right? You're not buying meme coins. So honestly, I feel sorry for everyone that got hurt in this.
Yeah. Is there a protocol similar to what Luna's doing on Phantom, or what was that popular one on Phantom that everyone was doing? Is that thing still going on? You guys know what I'm? Yeah, Tomb. Yeah.
yeah, Tomb's still going.
What's the difference between what they're doing on Tomb and what's going on with Luna? Because they sound kind of the same to me, but I haven't done a deep dive.
No, the difference is that Tomb is like a seigniorage token, which is like a whole different thing, where like they're copying a token and then providing liquidity based off of it. It's a long story, but it's very similar in some ways, but it's a seigniorage token, so it's a whole different ecosystem. Like they print tokens based on the amount of liquidity that's provided in the project.
I got you. Well, Myron, are you no longer a believer that Elon's going to buy Twitter while we're on?
We'll talk about it on the fourth topic, I guess.
All right. Well, what do you guys have any commentary on? We haven't talked about the charts yet. Do you guys have any commentary about what's going on, or is it just sort of you want to move on? Not a whole lot of news, or Draco, what are you seeing in the charts?
Well, it's like this is a really, really tough time. This is where, people can look at it and say either way. We talked about this on Thursday. I said that we're either going to take a big leg down or we're going to pump back up to right around 30 and stay sideways for a while. And that's exactly what happened. We pumped back up to 30 and now we're kind of going sideways. So from here, it's anybody's guess. Personally, I think that we're going to probably get a little bit more pump into this. And then, long term, several weeks or months, we're going to continue to head our, down. And the reason why I say that is because macroeconomic wise, there's no huge indicators, there's no huge bullish news that's going to push this thing up. Inflation is up still. The jobs numbers are going to start dwindling. Layoffs are going to start coming in more into play. Food shortages are kind of a thing going on right now. Like, it's just too much negative news for people to decide, yeah, I'm going to put 20% or 15% of my, my pay, my biweekly pay into crypto. So I think that we're going to see a lot of people that are going to hold on to their funds during tough times like this, and they're going to invest when things are better.
All right, Myron, what about you? What are you thinking?
I think we talked about this a little bit before the show, how Bitcoin has these cycles and it goes to 1 or 2 years. I think I was talking to a guy on Twitter. He bought in Bitcoin when it was $20. He said he bought into Bitcoin $20 right before the halving. And he pumped to like a couple thousand, then dropped to like 400. Then he pumped to like, it's like these crazy pumps and dumps, like huge range of volatility, right? So he said he's being like, he sold out everything in December last year. And he said mostly he just says holding stables. He's doing a little bit like staking on Voyager. And he said he's thinking that this can last as long as the December of 2023. The halving is May 2024, I think. So he said maybe people will start loading up before that. But the thing is, doesn't seem like a long time. And I think it's just like Draco says, I think right now, if you look at the chart for DXY, which is a dollar index, DXY just being like going up like crazy. That's because people being holding dollars, selling the assets and everything. So this can last a while. And just we're saying there's no good macroeconomic side. But the thing is, looking at everything that's been happening in crypto so far, I still see Bitcoin as, it's going to be really, I still believe it's going to be really good long term because, one of the reasons why Terra fell so much because they start printing so much, right? It's like 64 trillion or something they got to, which really dropped the price, but you can't do that with Bitcoin. And the thing is, it's not a protocol or project that can be manipulated. You can't print Bitcoin more. Like, consistently how much is going to be mined and, what's the max amount of Bitcoin. And I watched some videos of like people who are super bearish on even DeFi or even these like altcoins, but who are still very bullish on Bitcoin. So I think if you can make it work, right? If you say I'm dollar cost averaging in, you can probably maybe do it for Bitcoin if that's your strategy, just dollar cost average in. But on the altcoins, I might wait a little bit because altcoin kind of lags right behind Bitcoin. So you get the huge rallies when Bitcoin pumps and then consolidates. So I think it's maybe safe to go into Bitcoin, but man, these altcoins is looking a little bit scary, honestly.
Yeah. Going back to what you said earlier about talking to your parents about Luna, for me personally, the whole Time Wonderland kind of changed my entire view on doing that. Like when it comes to my personal circle, like my family and my friends, I think the only thing I'll ever recommend is Bitcoin, not even Ethereum. Now, if we're on the Discord, we have like a more sophisticated audience, so we'll discuss other stuff that's out there, because I feel like people can kind of appreciate the risk. By the time people get on Discord and are chatting with us, they can kind of appreciate the risk more. But I don't know what your guys' feeling is on this, but like when it's kind of like your friends or your family who, they don't really know a whole lot about crypto. For me, it's kind of like the only thing I feel safe recommending to anybody is Bitcoin. I don't know. What's your guys' take on that?
I agree with you, Smokey. In fact, I was going to say the exact same thing. Was that people that aren't knee deep in the DeFi world or really understand what the blue chips are and how they fluctuate. My only piece of advice to the people I care about, like genuinely know and care for, is to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, especially at a time like this, right, where the volatility's high, the fear's super high, macroeconomics are not looking good. There's hints of a recession talk, especially as we approach the end of Q2. It'll become more evident if that's what's going to happen or not. Like the mass influx into crypto is just not there at the moment, right? So I think like protecting your assets, hold them in stables, but ultimately, Bitcoin's not a bad option. It's not. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to move up and down, but I think we all understand the purpose, the use case, and it is the big dog of the bunch. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I just feel like if you're going to do it and you don't have that much knowledge, Bitcoin is the safe route long term.
Yeah, because we're like the hardcore of hardcore, crypto. I don't know what the word would be, crypto fans or whatever, but everyone else, like most people aren't like us, if you're listening to the show, I just think it's a very stressful situation to recommend like any DeFi coin to anybody who's not, neck deep in this stuff. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah, I
I
agree.
agree.
I would add one more thing to that and say that I think this is why it's important to get like the spot Bitcoin ETF and allowing people to put it into like their retirement accounts like Fidelity. I think a lot more accounts will start allowing that stuff over time. And I would be way more comfortable even with that, because then you'd be able to say, like, for example, for like your parents, right? That was the example you gave, was friends and family of parents. I'm still not comfortable with my parents, getting a ledger and, getting on Coinbase and buying Bitcoin and then transferring it from the Bitcoin website to their hard wallet. I'm not comfortable with that at all. I would rather it be something where they could have it in their 401k or in like an individual IRA with a retirement account or something like that, or or download even what a Charles Schwab or whatever those accounts are, and do it over go online and buy shares of it, because that's safer than the way that the crypto space is. And I'm not completely convinced that I would even tell them to do that, because it's just too risky.
Yeah. Speaking of ETFs, you brought that up. That brings us to our next topic. This is one brought to my attention from Myron Gaines. So it looks like Australia has their first crypto ETF, and it just kicked off today, or not too long ago. It looks like May 12th. And the trading volume's been very slow on this. I guess they might have been expecting more. A lot of people in Australia are really into crypto, so I'm not surprised that they're one of the first countries to get an ETF. But Myron, what about this article struck your attention?
I mean, just in general, that we've been talking about these Bitcoin spot ETFs for a while, and United States still doesn't have one. And honestly, this is one option that I would love to be able to have in my 401k, because the thing is, right now, if I look at my 401k, the only way that I can hedge against a market drop is just to sell all my 401k into like stable fund, right? Like there's nothing really I can, if we're going to a recession, there's nothing really I can invest in there that's gonna, I don't think I have an energy fund in mind. Some other people in different companies, they have energy fund, they have different ones, but for my company, we don't. It's like we have the SP 500, we have like the large growth stocks like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and then we have like the medium caps. Like those that can get hit hard if we continue on this fall, and I believe we can drop a little bit more. But I would love it if we have something like the ETF with crypto in it. And mainly, I think I didn't get into too much. I don't know if they hold like Bitcoin, Ethereum, what they have in there, but I would love to have a Bitcoin specifically ETF that I can, rather than me be like, oh, I need a dollar cost averaging in to a Bitcoin. Well, kind of when I have it in my 401k, that's kind of like dollar cost averaging in. And I know it's not as good as holding your own Bitcoin, but it's just one less thing to worry about. And I have to get 401k match anyways. If you don't, you're losing money. So that's something I really want to see here in the United States. And, Australia has it. And of course, right now with all the fear, all the FUD all like crypto dropping so much, of course, the volume is going to be low. But I think it's a valuable thing to have.
Draco, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Myron said. I think that unfortunately, you're going to hear this a lot over the next few weeks and months. The timing is just terrible. I mean, there's literally a global recession happening all over the world. You have countries that are, feeling the pressure from multiple, macroeconomical restraints and things that have happened, such as the coronavirus and all this stuff. So I think that just the timing is terrible. If this would have happened right before a bull run, or like if this would have happened in 2020 or 2019 and 2019 going into 2020, they would have seen a lot different result. I think even if this was to happen right now in the United States, if we got a spot Bitcoin ETF, I think that we would see, some positivity, but we wouldn't see anywhere nearly how good it could be if we were in a bull run. Nobody wants to put their money into anything right now because everything's crashing, and it's not just crypto. It's all sectors. If you look at the S&P 500, if you look at, every single market, and the next market that's going to follow this over the next couple months, if not maybe a year, is going to be the housing market. The housing market's going to follow everything. So I think there's a lot of pain ahead, and, for this to be released when it was, it's just poor timing is all. But yeah, I think it's great, and I think it's going to be utilized a lot going forward in the future. And this is a great step for all of crypto, and I hope more countries do the same thing.
Maverick, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think this is something we have all been anticipating for quite a while now, right? And I agree with Myron. If there was an opportunity for me to participate a portion of my 401k, then I absolutely would. Draco's right, though. They specifically highlight in that article that it's very low trading volume. Well, it's a horrible time. Everybody is holding tight to what they have and not taking a lot of extra risk with their portfolios because they're scared of what's to come. So hey, I think that it's positive that it's available. It takes countries like Australia, and there's going to be others to follow, in order to make a to cause change. I think you pulled up an article here that says essentially this has already been rejected by the SEC here.
Yeah, this is
in the
2018.
US.
I was looking for an update, and this is the newest one I could find. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're nearing it. We're getting closer and closer, but it's going to take a few more bold countries to step out and set it up, and then proof test it, right? That people are interested. That it just further bolsters the fact that it's a legitimate investment.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we'll move on to the next story, different topic altogether. This is kind of a late breaking one from earlier this evening. So we have the first case of somebody being prosecuted for transferring crypto to a sanctioned country. There's not a whole lot of information on this. This is brand new. All we know is that there's an individual who transferred crypto to a sanctioned country, either Iran, Russia, Cuba, North Korea, or somewhere like that. We don't know who the person is, but we know based on sanctions, this individual is going to be prosecuted. So I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on this. Not a whole lot. I looked into the judge too. He was appointed, the judge who ruled that the individual could be prosecuted. He's a Trump-appointed judge from September 2020. I just did a Google on him. I mean, he looks like a pretty decent judge. But, this is a case I definitely am interested in following because, I mean, we don't know all the facts of it yet, but is this going to be a situation where, hey, if you transfer your crypto to somebody in Russia or somebody in Cuba, are you breaking the law? What's your thoughts on this? We'll start with you, Draco.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been pretty clear that they said, the United States government said that they're going to restrict and sanction these countries. Now, I don't know all the details on this either, but it looks like, suggesting that Russia, Cuba, North Korea, Syria, or Iran are sanctioned countries. And if you send money to them, now the question would be, they're sending it to an exchange over there. And I wonder if that was for the purpose of giving it to that government. Because if you're just sending it to an exchange, I guess if it's like a central exchange ran by the government of Russia or Cuba or North Korea or whatnot, I could see that being a huge issue because effectively you're sending them $10 million in funds. So, I mean, you should know what you're doing and where you're sending your money to. But then again, I could also see this being a slippery slope, right? What if you're sending money to a project and the project says, yeah, we're running our project out of Kazakhstan, who knows? And long story short, they're not. They're actually running out of Russia, and you are unknowingly providing funds to a project. So I think that this is one step in the right direction to provide more clarity and rules on what you can and cannot do, because ultimately the U.S. is going to govern, what U.S. citizens can do in crypto.
Yeah, and where it gets even weirder is like, are you allowed to sell like a Bored Ape to somebody in Cuba, or is that breaking the law? That's where it's kind of
and that's going through an exchange. So what control over that? Can you type that into your little message thing? If you're Russian, Cuban, North Korean, Syrian, or Iranian, you can't buy this.
Yeah. Maverick, what do you think about this?
I think you can poke holes all through this, right?
Yep.
Like I have more questions than answers when reading this article. So, I just don't understand how you can seek to prosecute someone that you don't even know who they are, right? It's an anonymous individual. I think if anything, they're just identifying and calling out to people that this is something that we're going to be focusing on in the future. And also it sets a precedent, right? So the judge sets a precedent simply by declaring that, the Department of Justice is focusing their attention on these types of cases. So, man, I don't really know. I think it's a slippery slope. It could end up hurting people unintentionally in those countries that are simply, trying to earn a living or invest in the form or fashion they want to. And it could they could end up hurting some of their own citizens, right, who are unknowingly participating in something or sending money to a, like you said, exchange that they had no knowledge of it being in one of these restricted countries. But then again, how in the world would they even know? I like I said, more questions than answers at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Well, whoever it is, they screwed up big time.
Yeah. Hopefully we find out more. Like, I think this could be interesting. Maybe more facts will come out, in the coming days.
It's probably like a spy sending money back to their country or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you have like a lot of immigrants. I'm sure there's like a lot of Russian immigrants that want to send money home through crypto. Like, is that legal to send money to your family? Oh, it's not?
No, I don't know. I'm just
okay. So,
hey, Draco, I see a.
What's
Go ahead,
up,
Myron? Sorry. No, I was going to say we got a lot of comments about your new PFP.
Oh yeah, this is not hiding the pain, Harold. It's just I can't hide it anymore. I'm just
Harold looks pretty pissed
I'm gonna wear my emotions on my shoulder.
Oh man. But that's an interesting case though. Like if you send it back to your family, if they're struggling in those countries where you're not really aiding, Putin or the government over there, do you still get in trouble for that? Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know. Just it's unfortunate if you're trying to like help them and you get in trouble because you're sending money to these countries that we sanctioned or banned. It's I don't know. It's a tricky situation. But the thing is, this guy sent a lot, so it probably is something nefarious. Who knows?
At the end of the day, this is stupid. This is stupid. This is politics getting involved in something that was supposed to be apolitical, that was supposed to be instant, global remittance based off of rules, right? That's what this was. And now you're saying, well, you can't send it here and you can't send it to that person. And, we don't like that country. You can't send it there. So, I mean, this is just going to become more and more of a nonsensical circus of crap.
Yeah,
happen.
Like if we're at like war with a country, like actually at war with like Iraq or something, like, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to send crypto to a country that we're directly have troops on the ground, battling with. Like if but you a disgruntled U.S. citizen, say Myron, for example, we're at war with Iraq and Myron's sending NFTs and Bitcoin to help Iraq win the war. Yeah, obviously, like that should be illegal. But it's just like any country. It really gets so stupid when it's just any country that we have some.
There's a whole list.
With, But I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. But we'll move on to a lighter topic. So this is a Square Enix. They're one of the great legacy video game publishers out there. They're probably Nintendo's like right-hand man as far as third-party gaming publishers go. They've created titles such as Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, and they also when Nintendo wants to outsource a Mario game that Nintendo doesn't want to actually make, like this one, they'll go to Square Enix. So Square Enix is getting into the crypto business, the Web3 gaming business. They plan to issue tokens and invest heavily in Web3. They actually sold the rights to Tomb Raider. For those of you that remember Tomb Raider, you might remember the movie. Angelina Jolie played Lara Croft, who's the lead character in the Tomb Raider video game. They actually sold the rights to Tomb Raider to invest in their Web3 plans. They plan on making NFTs and rolling out tokens for their various games, probably much like Gala Games, if you've heard us talk about them. So I thought this was pretty big news. We'll start with you, Myron. What do you think? Is Square Enix a pretty big deal getting into NFTs and Web3 gaming?
I mean, they make some pretty good games. I think Final Fantasy is one of them. Kingdom Hearts. Those are some like the old games that's pretty good. I don't know about the new ones. Never played those the newer Final Fantasies or Kingdom Hearts. But I think this is where it gets interesting, where actual game developers come into this crypto space and start making games, rather than people say, "Oh, guys, we have this token and we also have this game," when they have no experience in making games. And the thing is, let's say, for example, Axie Infinity is one of the biggest ones, I guess, if we think about like crypto gaming. But the thing is about Axie Infinity is, if it doesn't have the crypto aspect or the NFT aspect to it, would people even play it? Like if you just launch it as a game, just with all these other games where it's just a game, like would that many people even play it? So I think this is where it gets interesting. I think it's probably not, I may be wrong on this. I'll say it's probably more difficult to make a good game with good graphics and everything than to add a tokenomics side to it. And hopefully they don't do something stupid, like the microtransactions and stuff like that. But I think the really interesting things is like if they can bring NFT into it and have somehow make NFT wars more than just a profile picture. And this is where I think you can get really interesting. So hopefully other big developers step into this space too. Then I guess we're talking about, this can get, centralized, this can get all this, but maybe I don't know. I just want some good games, man.
I can tell you, they made this Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle game, and I pumped more hours into this than any game in like the last.
This is like, have you played XCOM?
No, I haven't played that.
Yeah, XCOM. I think this is exactly like the battle, like the gameplay of XCOM.
All right, Draco, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I agree with what Myron's saying. Like, I would rather, and this is just my personal opinion, I could be wrong, I would rather invest in a gaming company that knows how to create games. I mean, Square Enix has made a ton of games. Like, they have the Final Fantasy series, some of the biggest games, in PlayStation history, right? The biggest game on the PlayStation platform, there's like two of them, and one of them is Final Fantasy VII. And then on PlayStation 2, it was Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy IX. So like the Final Fantasy series is huge. Then you've got Kingdom Hearts, which was a big series, and Chrono Trigger. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff. Dragon Quest was another one. I think that this is a really big, successful gaming company that is now going to get into the world of crypto. And one of the interesting things that I tried to talk to you guys about earlier that was hard to text when we looked at this article. So in my opinion, if anybody is familiar with Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 11. Final Fantasy 11 was like the first MMORPG. It was like one of the first. And they had their own marketplace and they had their own currency. And the name of their currency was Gil, G-I-L. And you could actually buy Gil online and people would send it to you for like US dollars. So like they were dealing with like cryptocurrency way before cryptocurrency was even a thing. They just didn't understand what they were doing. It just wasn't really built up yet. So, in my opinion, they've already dealt with this. They've already dealt with cryptocurrency. They've just done it on a closed ecosystem. You could be a farmer, you could be like a grifter, and you could get in there and kill the big bosses and get gear and sell it for more gil, and then trade that gil for US dollars and sell it back to people. So they've already done all of this. And I think that it makes a lot of sense that they're jumping into this game just as they are with this. So like, I think they're going to be successful. This is something that I would be interested in looking at and investing into, because they've already like gone down this road. And I think it's just very, very interesting that they're going to continue to do this.
Yeah, and I think the style of games they make like really lend themselves to NFTs. You know, just these RPG style games where you can level up the characters. You know, I mean, NFTs kind of already have that functionality. You know, right now, a lot of NFTs, you know, they can change or evolve and mutate into other things. I think that would be. I just think the type of games that Square Enix makes would really lend itself to blockchain. Maverick, what's your thoughts on this?
Well,
You a gamer?
Draco, well, somewhat. It's been a while, but Draco talking about Gil took me way back, right?
There it is.
It's like PS1, early or late high school days, like sitting on my bed, original PS1, and it was like my first real RPG game. And so I think you're right. I don't really have a whole lot more to add besides what you said, Draco, but I feel like the platform that and the style of game is that the Final Fantasy series consists of. It really lends itself to, when you think from a crypto perspective, of being ideal, right? Like you can kind of look across their infrastructure and how they built these things out. And I think along the lines of what Myron said, the building of the game is the hard part, right? The integration would probably not be as difficult. But let me ask you this, just to add to the conversation a little bit. If they were to dive into the Web3 space, what blockchain would be best suited for these types of transactions?
Phantom.
Yeah, I think
It'd
any
be-
of the Ethereum competitors I'd be happy with. Phantom, Avalanche, Polygon, even Solana. Probably. I don't have much experience with Solana, but anything other than ETH.
I like my blockchains to stay on, like to continue to function. So I would not pick Solana.
I
Okay.
wouldn't either.
Yes, that's very true.
I saw something this week. Did you know the Solana private investors, like probably the first round, it's like they got in for 4 pennies, man.
For Solana?
Yep.
Yeah. That's like the venture capital chain or whatever. It has that reputation. All right. Well, we'll move on to our back to Elon. We started off talking about Elon, and we're coming back to Elon again. We just can't stop talking about him. But I mean, right now we are seeing this high-level chess match between Elon, who's kind of like the Bobby Fischer, and then Twitter's, they're kind of just a bunch of clowns. I mean, they are. He's kind of bullying them around right now. He's saying, his latest move is he's refusing to close the deal because he's saying Twitter has a bot problem. And Twitter's claiming 5% of their users are bots, and Elon's saying it's more like 20% or much higher. What do you guys think his play is, and what's your personal experience? What's your personal estimate of how many Twitter users are actually bots? We'll start with you, Myron.
I don't know how many are bots. I think there's a lot of bots. I do know that if you post like MetaMask and stuff like that, the MetaMask support desk comes and helps you on Twitter and DMs.
Oh yeah, hey, not really.
So, not really. That's not MetaMask support, guys. But the thing is, the question I think we got to ask is, how many moves ahead do we think Elon planned it? Like, do we think that he actually planned this? Because when he said he was loading up on Twitter, he said, "Hey, we can buy. I want to." First, it was just loading up shares, then joining the board. And he says, "I'm not joining the board." And he says, "Oh, I'm actually going to buy you." Then now he comes back and says, "Oh, maybe not. I need to do a whole audit of how many bots you guys have." But the thing is, doing Twitter's, I think in the earnings reports and things like that, they said they have like 5%, but it's not really a solid number. They don't really care, I guess. And the thing is, how many steps is he still? Did he plan this step basically, or is this step where he's like, oh man, Tesla just dropped from 1,000 to like 700, and now I had to fork out all this money for Twitter, and if I didn't buy Twitter at this 54.20, it's probably going to be around $20 now with the climate we're in. Twitter's earnings not that good, so probably was like 30 something before he offered the deal. And if he didn't offer the deal, let's just pretend that Elon didn't do anything with Twitter. They're going to not do well on earnings, probably going to drop in the 20s. So he's like, oh, I'm paying like double the amount to get this company, and this can be a lot of work. So he's like playing a game. I think the thing is, if he doesn't buy it now, he's going to hurt his reputation. And maybe this will be a wake-up call and be like, dude, Elon he just does whatever he wants, man. And there's sometimes like these type of things, to bait a switch like this, it's not really good, man, because people probably bought Twitter because of Elon, and people are now down a good amount because of Elon on this, because now it's below the price where he originally announced it. And the thing is, Elon, people say Elon is such a hero and things like that. I've been looking at a little bit of things about him, but the things he says is he just hasn't been delivering. Like his cars are delayed. Cybertruck, have you been seeing Cybertruck? No, because it's not even out, right? But it's supposed to be out. So Cybertruck is delayed, and today came out with news that says all the European and Asian countries cannot pre-order Cybertruck. Only North America can do it. So he can't fulfill the orders. I don't even know if they are even able to make as much, the way they want to make it. And now he's like, I also read news where in Tesla's Gigafactory in China, the workers are working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and they sleep on the floor. They can't go home. Of course, some of that is due to the lockdown. But man, like this guy, he has some part of him is not all he, present himself to be. He talks about like this battery. There's like a super crazy goal he set, and someone calculated it that we don't have enough lithium on Earth to be able to make that happen. And he says stuff like, "Oh, I have this goal." He says, "Hey, but don't hold me to it. If it doesn't happen, don't hold me to it." People like always hold me to my word. Well, yeah, because you're out here giving these crazy predictions or estimates or whatever. So again, I'm fishing about Elon. I hope this deal goes through. I do hope the deal goes through to make Twitter a better place. But right now, man, it doesn't look good, man.
Yeah, I definitely think it was planned. I mean, it's so obvious that 5% bot number is not real. Like my own personal followers, I mean, I don't have that a whole ton of followers, but I would say 20% of my followers are bots. I don't know. Draco, what's your experience on Twitter? Do you think what's your guess about how many of your followers are bots? What do you think Elon's game plan is here?
I think that everything that he's done so far has been very calculated, and I think the reason why he's doing this isn't because, like Myron is saying, that they didn't know or they don't care how many bot followers they have. I don't think that's true. I think what Elon's trying to do is say that they're lying in official holdings. So like they're being asked specific questions that they need to answer, and they're lying, and he's catching them in a lie, which would lower the price, and it would like they're putting something up and saying as part of the deal, there's only 5% bots on here, so you're getting access to whatever. Let's say it's 20 billion users, right? Well, what if it's not 20 billion users? What if it's only 15 billion? And the reason why is because 5 billion of them are just random stupid bots that are doing whatever the company wants and following who they want them to follow. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a whole bunch of reports of a whole bunch of like influencers and political figures that are losing tons and tons of followers recently, very recently, like within the last week. And it looks like that's because there's a lot of bots that are falling off. And then, there's a bunch of like troll memes and stuff going out there too, and saying like, 40% of specific political parties have like 40% fake followers and stuff like that. So how much of that's true, I don't know. But there is a huge swath of individuals that are losing, tens of thousands, or if not thousands of followers. So I think that this is all calculated. I think he's doing this to show and prove that they know that there's a whole bunch of fake bots that are on their servers and that are utilizing their platform at their disposal, and he's catching them in a lie in order to sweeten the deal and make it even cheaper.
Maverick, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of think it's a combination of both what Draco and Myron were speaking to. I do think that he went into this with intent. I do believe that the market's taking a nosedive, and he has, financial people in his corner telling him what is good and what's not good. And right now, they're probably warning him. So I'm sure that played a little bit into the decision making. But I think ultimately, Elon Musk has like a greater vision, especially when it comes to exposing what he believes to be, correct or right. And so he's utilizing this platform amongst all the other things that have occurred so far, right? To leverage and expose the individuals for what's really happening. So I'm kind of indifferent on it all. I was excited about him buying Twitter because I always like to see someone stick up for what's right. And I feel like there was an element that he was trying to bring to the space to, try and bring some fairness about policy, and also expose some of the bigwigs who literally add zero value to the platform and just make they're earning money for literally doing very little. At least that's the way I understand it. So I don't know. I don't think this will be the last time we talk about this, though.
Oh no, there's going to be a lot more. Yeah, it'll be interesting once we find out if Twitter execs did lie on official stock disclosures and things like that. And it's possible that Elon's caught them in some kind of fraud or something like that. So
he knows more than what we do, for sure.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more coming on this story. So with that, we'll end it on a lighter note. This article is about the top 10 most expensive NFTs ever sold. So I don't know. What are you guys expecting to be on here?
Bored Ape.
Yeah.
CryptoPunks and Bored Ape, right?
The first one's like a Trump one. So this is after Trump lost the election. I guess this one sold for 6.6 million.
I guess that was supposed to be in the back.
That's supposed to be Trump, the despondent figure. So that one for 6.6 million. Let's see who made it.
Yeah, so Beeple's NFTs. I saw his name in this article several times, and maybe David should be on here to answer who this person is. But evidently, he's a high-valued artist in the NFT world.
Okay, this one was kind of cool. It reminded me of Ready Player One, right? It looks like one of those trailers in Ready Player One. Is that what it's supposed to be, or does anyone want to comment?
Isn't that one of the isn't that where he lives in Ready Player One? Like in one of those like multi-story stacked like apartments or whatever they were?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was called something different than Oceanfront, but I can't remember. No, this is Ohio or something in the movie.
Yeah, I mean the thing it says is for charity, so I don't think it's related to that. It's probably just to show you the.
I got you. Then we got right click and save, guys. $7 million. This one for $7 million, Myron. Can you believe that?
You know what I can do? I can right click save as the right click save as guy, man.
So Snoop bought it. Okay, I wonder if he still owns it.
Oh, Snoop, man.
There's just no telling what's going to take.
Dude, some of these are, man. You look at it, you're like, dude, I can do that, man.
I sent you my vote. Well, we can save it for the end, but I sent you my vote for the best one, the best NFT.
Oh, okay.
The one that should make the most.
I'll put that on at the end.
It's definitely not a plant growing out of Madonna's vagina either.
That was a wild shell, guys. Man.
That was terrible. That was terrible. I got a lot of fan mail.
Okay. So CryptoPunks. There's a few CryptoPunks on here. I totally don't get CryptoPunks at all. Like, nope. It's just complete minimalism. I mean, whatever works.
OG, just like the Ether rocks. It's just one of the original
rocks.
Yeah. So we got a couple CryptoPunks.
There was a guy that had a CryptoPunk. He says, I wouldn't sell this for 10 million. And someone offered him 10 million. And he's like, dude, after thinking over, he's like, I'm still not going to sell it. So he sold that. Yeah, he didn't sell it.
Oh, my God.
I feel like by the time CryptoPunks came out, we were already like oversaturated with pixel art because that's been popular for 10 years now.
Yeah.
All right, Human One. This one actually looks pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah, at least it looks cool.
Beeple, that's the same guy
Yeah.
who was the first one, right, Maverick?
It is the same one, yeah. And they say that he's updating the artwork periodically, so he doesn't own
Oh,
it, but he
wow.
has the rights to update it. So he's changing the
pretty cool.
backgrounds and stuff as time moves on.
Okay. I mean, he's at least trying to do something different. So.
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of good stuff. Isn't he the guy that made the Giga Chad?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The guy from Beeple did Giga Chad. I'll send that to you.
So he's a big deal then in the NFT space, huh?
Yeah. He's the one that gave what's his face, Joe Rogan. He gave him like an actual NFT like that you can hold and like put on your desk. I'll send you a thing of it right now.
All right, send me that. Then we got one on Julian Assange. So this is more of like a political statement, and I like Julian Assange. You know, I don't think he should be getting prosecuted at all. I don't even know where he's at now, but so this is the number of days he's been in jail. Okay.
$52 million.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder
mean,
if that updates.
Golly.
I wonder if the number of days like goes up every day that goes by that he's in jail.
I think it does. It says it showcases the number of days.
Is he still alive,
got
or
to.
is he? I thought last I heard he was getting extradited to the U.S., but I don't know if that ever happened or not. What did he do to the U.S.? Was it all the WikiLeaks emails because he helped get Trump elected? Is that what his crime was, or what?
It's just the wiki emails, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're upset
Totally
about
not illegal at all either. You know, somebody gave those to him, right? So he didn't even like hack that or anything. So whatever, though. I won't digress into that. Okay, what's this one here?
This one's the most expensive one, I
another
believe.
Beeple. Wow.
Yep.
$69 million. Wow.
Gosh, man.
So what's Beeple's like gimmick? Like, what's he trying to get across in his art for you guys that follow him?
He has like super realistic, high definition 3D art. And they, like I said, like if once we get to the portion of this that we can click on, you can actually buy some of his stuff that is like it's real life art that you can put on your desk, and it'll show you like the creation of the art. It'll have like all of the different aspects of the art listed in there, and it'll show you like what number you have, and it'll be signed by the actual artist. So that there's the Giga Chad.
I thought that was Elon Musk. Is it
Yeah.
supposed to be Elon?
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. If you go to the other one that I sent
yeah,
you,
it
the
definitely
one
is.
that says collect on it, you can actually like have a physical copy of this and buy it, and like it plugs in and it has a battery source, and you can put it on your desk, and it's like an NFT. It's almost like a comic book, right? But it's all digital.
Check it out.
And I think this will
Man,
be.
I kind of want to buy some of this stuff now.
Yeah, do you see how like so it's like it's a physical copy of your NFT, and I do think this is going to get bigger and bigger. Like someone's going to buy, like for example, you know, a $200,000 Bored Ape, and they're going to want a physical copy, just like this, that you can put on your desk, and you're like, yeah, I'm never going to sell it, but the only time I can see it is if I log into my computer. So this kind of solves that problem a little bit.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else he's got. All right, it's just one. All right, let's see. The merge, 91.8 million, and it looks like just a couple white dots.
That's it.
That's it.
Get out of here.
Million, that's what you get.
It's crazy, man.
It's
I would
gotta
have
be a
skipped
rip,
it.
right? Oh man,
I would have skipped it.
Yeah, that's our top 10 list. That's number one.
All
by
right.
the way.
No,
I
you
sent
didn't show the top one yet. Joe.
I'll show
Okay.
you. I sent you mine, my top one, the one that I think should be number one. It's above the one that I sent you.
Oh man, this is a.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
He's back. He's just wants to hang out. He's a bro.
I can see these actually going up in value.
Oh, they're so bad.
It's great.
Look at the monkey.
No, man.
It's a
The worst. The worst.
I wonder how this project's doing right now, man.
I don't know. They're probably killing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Look at that. Just look at the monkey. It's so bad.
Yeah. For those of you that don't remember, Pixelmon was a project that advertised like hyper real, very tight 3D art. And then when Mint came around, this is what people got. Nothing that they were advertising.
Is that their
on.
chart? Is that their it looks like their chart just crashed hard.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be.
Oh great. Yeah, well, look, it raised
Good
70
looking
million
there.
and then it
Three
revealed
ETH.
this.
Yeah, and that was when ETH was like $3,000 a
Yeah.
token too. So it's like $9,000 to mint one of these. Ugh, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me sick.
The NFT Hall of Fame. I don't care what. This is what was advertised.
Yeah, that was what was advertised. Remember that? Oh my god, I'd have been so upset.
The floor price is 0.3 ETH right now.
Oh man.
And the art is still terrible, man. They
It's
have
so
it
good. It's hyper realistic.
Oh, that's
Well,
good
he said
stuff.
the bottom left one. The bottom left one is not like they don't even have anything there. It's just like grass.
Yeah, it's not even good grass. It's just
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, that's right.
Rosie said she likes the bottom left one. It's such outstanding quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one where it says like nothing. It's like died or something. That picks up.
Oh my god. Well, that's perfect.
That's a good one to end on, though. You know,
Absolutely.
always a favorite project of Bourbon-n-Blockchain.
We'll never forget you, ugly zombie.
No, dude, he's a cactus, zombie cactus, man.
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
What is the floor price for this Pixelmon right now?
point-
Does anyone got that link for me?
0.3.
Oh,
0.3?
0.3. It's not bad.
That's high as hell for like that's a good point, Rosie. Like they're getting 0.3 floor and they're not even like that good of a project. Well, it is what it is. I don't know anything. That's why I can't pick NFTs because most of those ones you showed on the top 10, I would have just skipped right past them.
Yeah. You never know what's going to take off. So, well, with that, anyone else have anything else they want to talk about tonight?
Nope. I think that's
Nope.
pretty much it
Been a
for
good
now.
discussion.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We will be back Thursday at 8:30 Central Time. So thank you, everybody. And please hit the like button.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Yep.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.